Good morning, I'm Jill from Travels by Jill, and I'm coming to you this morning from the beautiful Costa Mujeres, Mexico. I've been a travel advisor for over 15 years with Family Fun Travels, and this morning I'm going to review Secrets Playa Blanca with you, which is where my husband and I have stayed for the past few nights, and I have some great things to share, some tips and tricks at the end, and some suggestions, so please stick around for a full review of this beautiful resort. Secrets Playa Blanca is one of Mexico's newest resorts. It was just opened in 2024, and it is about 45 minutes to an hour from the Cancun airport. It is on Costa Mujeres Beach, and Isla Mujeres is just right across the way. It's really neat. You can see it way off in the distance across the water. Because of this location, it does not get very bad sargassum. This is a very bad year for sargassum here in Mexico and all over the Caribbean, just based on Mother Nature. However, this area, there is very minimal, even here in July. I also see the trucks daily. They start first thing in the morning and they run through the day, the tractors that are pulling up the sargassum. So the resort does a great job of taking care of that. So I will get that out of the way first. This is a great place to come no matter what time of year, whether it is typical to have sargassum in the area or not. It doesn't reach this far north. The resort itself has 507 suites, and you can choose king-size beds or full-size beds, 2 full-size beds. There are swim-up options, which I have right here. There are larger suites, presidential suites. There are ocean view rooms. There are ocean front rooms. There's a difference. And there are preferred club categories and not preferred categories, and I'll be explaining all of these things throughout this review. Okay, let's start with the room that we stayed in. We stayed in a preferred club swim-up suite, and it was just perfect for us. We had king-size bed. Our butler, Rafa, met us at the restaurant where we were eating lunch, and he escorted us to our room when it was ready, gave us the room keys, gave us a wonderful tour, which I will share here, and showed us all the tips and tricks about the room, because there are some little tips that you should know on how to turn on the jets, on how to turn on the Bluetooth, things like that. This room is set up for everything. And then, of course, you see the beautiful outside patio, which is where we spent so much of our time. I will say the chair game is real here, and if you know, you know. So I was out filming some content at 6 a.m. one morning, and a lot of the chairs at the preferred club pool, which is right over here, were already being reserved, and no one was sitting in them yet. So while I don't agree with that, it is happening here, and I do hope the resort will nip that in the bud. However, our butlers did explain to us that they would be able to help us secure some chairs at the pool should we want them. We did not want them. We have a swim-up suite, which is one of the reasons why I love a swim-up suite. You never have to fight for places at the pool. And we also like the beach as well, so we spent some time on the beach. But just know that if you're in the preferred club area, that your butlers can help you, and the pool concierges can help you to find some chairs if those people, and please don't be those people, are just putting towels and things down in chairs and then walking away for hours on end. I will say this happens at a lot of resorts. Some resorts are better at handling the situation than others, but just be mindful of that. The overall vibe of this resort is definitely luxury. It is simply beautiful, stunning. The grounds, there are lush gardens everywhere. One of the things that I loved was there are like fluffy, really good quality pillows everywhere. In the Preferred Club Lounge, there is an outside area and an inside area full of great chairs with pillows. Even out in the resort, pillows are everywhere. The Bali beds on the beach and at the poolside area that you can reserve and pay extra for. There are great pillows there. So that was just a little thing that I noticed that I was like, okay, I like that. It just adds a little bit of luxury and shows that they've given some thought to the decor and the comfort of the guests. The clientele that you will see here, the guests that you will see here range from all ages. I've seen honeymooners. We've seen a couple of weddings occur here. I've seen people celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. Sorry, that probably made a noise. I've seen like us celebrating our 25th anniversary, as well as people much older than us celebrating as well. All different nationalities. It's really just a resort for anyone. And while I've kind of mentioned the grounds, let's talk about them. I love the fact that the footprint of this resort is not very large. I've been to many all-inclusive resorts, and some of them you need a golf cart to come pick you up to take you from your room to dinner. And while I love those resorts, they're incredible, it is really nice to just be able to quickly walk wherever you want to go and get there, especially here in July when it is blazing hot in the afternoons. And the humidity is already, like, it is 8:20 in the morning and the humidity is already pretty insane. I live in Mississippi. I'm used to it, but I can imagine that people coming from other parts of the country or even other parts of the world, it can be stifling. So it's great to have a smaller resort. There are 9 buildings where the rooms are. Buildings 1, 2, 3, and 4 are preferred. You'll have 1 and 3 that are on this side of the resort, which is your more western side of the resort. And then you'll have buildings 2 and 4, which are on the more eastern side of the resort. And 1 and 2 face the ocean. So those will be your preferred club ocean front rooms. And then you'll have buildings 3 and 4, which are also right by the ocean, but just a little bit more back. And they will be a little less expensive. So they will be considered, some of the higher up rooms might be considered ocean view rooms. So ocean front, front's the ocean. Ocean view is where you have a view of the ocean, and you're pretty close, especially if you're in the preferred category. You're still right up close to the ocean or the Gulf, but you would have that ocean view category. The grounds are very luscious. They do a great job of keeping them up. With it only being a year old, my husband and I have been very impressed with the vegetation and the gardening. It is really just gorgeous. They've done a great job. We imagine that in just a few years it'll look very much like one of our favorite resorts, which is Valentin Resort. We love just feeling like we're in the tropics when we're on vacation, and Valentin Resort really hits that. And this resort is going for that vibe as well. So very tropical, very lush, but also luxurious and first class in this resort category. One of my favorite aspects of a resort to talk about is always the service. And I have, on the whole, found amazing service in Mexico, some of the best service anywhere in the world. I will say that Playa Blanca just hits it out of the park for us. We have loved everyone that we've encountered here. I can tell that there's really great management at this resort, or that's what I'm guessing, because the people seem so happy who are working here. Everyone greets you with a buenas noches, buenas tardes, buenos dias, and the servers in the restaurants, all of them want to go above and beyond to make sure that you're getting the food that you like. Oh, did you like this? What was your favorite course? What was your favorite food that you ate? Can I take your picture? We have had phenomenal service everywhere. The people at the Bali bed on the beach, the men who were bringing us our drinks and our food and serving us, they would come around and check on us every 30 minutes. Just very friendly. You could tell that they weren't just doing it because it was their job, but they truly seemed to enjoy what they were doing. So that goes a long way in my book. I do want to talk here about the butlers, because if you do stay in preferred category, you do receive butlers. And while some resorts do have concierge, building concierge, which is where they can help get your dining reservations if you want, or schedule excursions, these are true butlers in the sense similar to Sandals butlers. We've stayed at many Sandals resorts in the butler category, and so we're very familiar with that type of service. And what we experienced here at Secrets Playa Blanca was very, very similar to the butler service that we receive at Sandals. Our butlers were Belen and Rafa, and they were both incredible. We have a WhatsApp, and as soon as we checked in, we were able to connect with both of them via WhatsApp. And any questions we had, any requests we had, we would just text them. Hey, they would tell us who was on at what time. They would give us every morning and every evening a list of activities, a list of restaurants that were closed. We never had to even look at the app for activities. There's a Hyatt Inclusive app that you can download, and you can choose Secrets Playa Blanca, and it will give you all kinds of activities. So, and all of the restaurants and everything. But our butlers just made sure that was in the WhatsApp for us, so we could find it right there very easily. We wanted to sign up for hat making. They made it happen. Because we are preferred status, we were able to have a free hydrotherapy session in the spa. They were able to set that up. They walked us to our Bali bed to make sure that we were set up and checked in, showed us where it was. I walked out of my room to get ice, and with the ice bucket, and they grabbed it from my hand and took it and went and got the ice, even though it was just a few steps down. They just really went out of their way to try to do anything we needed, anything we asked. I wasn't sure what time the transfer was going to pick us up this morning, and I asked them how long the Amstar reps are in the lobby, and they said, oh, we will figure that out for you and get that all set up for you. And so then they told us that we were confirmed for our pickup time and what it was. So we just haven't had to lift a finger. They also did sweet things such as leave flower petals on our bed for our celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. They can draw bubble baths for you if they know when you're coming home. Just going above and beyond. They even did an interview for me, which I'm going to post in full on another YouTube. I just wanted to interview them and highlight how amazing they are and let them kind of talk and introduce themselves. And one of the other butlers happened to be around, so we interviewed him as well. But they're just the best. They really made this whole entire trip just amazing. I've heard some of the butlers from the other rooms that are right here, and so I can hear them, and everybody's just so friendly. So if you're in the preferred club, if you're in the preferred rooms, you will really, really enjoy the experience and your butlers. Okay, so while I'm on it, let's talk about preferred and whether it's worth it or not. This is a totally subjective. A lot of people are like, "Oh, that's totally not worth it. I'm not doing it." That's totally fine. That's your prerogative. Some people really want that just extra VIP status that comes with it. The butlers are a great aspect to the preferred area. The room locations being closer to the water is really a great aspect. Although, like I said, the footprint of this resort is not very large, so it's not like there are no golf carts. I have not seen a golf cart at this resort. And if you've been to resorts in the Mexican Caribbean, you know that there are golf carts everywhere, and you know how large some of these resorts can be. Moon Palace, I'm looking at you. I love you, but you're large. And so any of the rooms are not going to be too far from the water, but just having that proximity to the Gulf, having a preferred club pool. You do have your own pool. You do have a great lounge, a really, really beautiful outside area to sit and enjoy. We sat there many times outside of the lounge, and then inside the preferred club lounge, they always have sweets, coffee, tea, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and so and then a place where if there are any sporting events or anything, I believe it was Wimbledon going on, football games, American football games, you name it, there would be sports or news or anything like that. There are TVs in there. So the preferred club lounge is definitely great. You do have access to eating at Seaside Restaurant for breakfast. It is the only sit-down breakfast restaurant. And we did not experience that because we enjoy room service for breakfast. That's just our thing. Other than room service, which is available 24/7, people who aren't preferred would then have a breakfast buffet to choose from. So is the preferred club worth it? In my opinion, we enjoyed it. It would just depend on the pricing for me, and if I wanted to spend that much. I think the resort is beautiful without it. So if you cannot afford preferred club, definitely come to this resort. But if you can afford to bump it up a notch in the cost, I think you will enjoy it. Is it a make or break at this resort? Absolutely not. Like, this resort is phenomenal without the preferred club. So please don't not come to this resort if you don't have preferred club. It is wonderful. One thing I did forget to mention, and I kind of mentioned earlier, is you do get a free hydrotherapy session if you're a preferred club. That was really, really neat. And you do have access to the Bali beds on the beach. If you're a preferred club, they are an additional cost of about $95 a day at the time that I'm recording this. I pre-booked them. And I will say here one thing about the cabana Bali bed on the beach is it has slats in the roof. It's poles. So it's not covered. And so you get burnt. So most of the times when you think of Bali beds, you think of shade on the beach. And the location is beautiful. The service is beautiful. The Bali beds themselves are beautiful, but the roof is not solid. And it's not even, like, even if they just threw a tarp over it, that would help. But we actually reserved them for 3 days, and the first day we got burnt. We tried to stay in the shade as much as possible, but the second day we did not go out until after 2, when the sun had gone from overhead. And so the third day we canceled it because we just couldn't justify spending $95 to spend a couple of hours in the Bali bed on the beach. So please know that about the Bali bed. I did let them know I hate to say complaint, but it kind of was. It's something that they need to consider and think about. But So maybe something will be done with it. Maybe nobody else cares, but for us, we did. Getting pink on our first day was not too fun, but it obviously didn't hamper our vacation, and we've loved every minute. So while I'm here, let's talk about the beach. The beach is absolutely stunning. I love the fact that there's really no one to the right or left of us either. We're kind of out here by ourselves. There are no vendors. We did see the police just patrolling up and down just to make sure that we were all safe. They do a great job of monitoring. And other than that, just the tractor that's picking up the minimal sargassum that's here. It's a very beautiful, long beach in both directions. You can easily walk. And not a lot of people are on the beach that come to the resort. A lot of people stayed by the pools. And so the beach was always very empty. And we really enjoyed the beach here. It's beautiful. If you are active, this is a definite resort for you. There is always something going on. The app and the text that your butlers will send you in the morning and the afternoon are just full of, from 8 to 9 there's yoga and where it is, and from 9 to 10 there's there's hat making. They are doing pottery classes. They are doing competitions. They're teaching you to dance, mixology classes. There is always something going on that you can sign up for. It's really, really an active resort. At night there are shows, multiple shows. They'll always have violin players or trumpet players around just randomly through the day, but also in the evening. Always something going on. And so if you want to be active at this resort, there is something for you at all times. And also if you want to just come and chill and just be with your loved one and escape from everybody else, there is a place for that too here. There are many, many places to go to be alone. I suggest the swim ups in that case if you're kind of more of a loner like we are, because we were just able to come hide on our balcony or our patio and enjoy our very own private pool. It is almost private. There's hardly ever anyone in the pool, maybe a couple of people in the afternoons just cooling off, but we kind of always had the pool to ourselves. So we are more private people and we loved it, but I know that even if you're active, there are tons of activities here for you. Okay, let's talk about the food. The food was very good. It hasn't been our favorite resort food, but I can't complain. The food was very good. We started at the buffet, which we typically aren't huge buffet people, but when we got here, it was lunchtime, and that was just the quickest place for us to get some food because we were famished after a long day of traveling. And the buffet was good. It was very good. Had a lot of different options, and they change out I believe they change out the food types every day, but I'm not sure about that. And they do serve breakfast and lunch at the buffet. And then one night this week, they had a Mexican buffet at dinner. And the Mexican restaurant El Patio was closed that night. And so you could go to the buffet to get Mexican there, and that seemed really, really nice. But other than that, there are 7 restaurants on property. You have a French restaurant, which we did not. We're not huge on French cuisine, but everybody who goes there loves it. And then there is an amazing Italian restaurant. There is Pan-Asian restaurant with good sushi. Of course, a Mexican restaurant, El Patio, and then a couple of seafood steak restaurants. And so there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Every time we sat down, and even when we checked in for a dinner, at the podium, they would always ask if we had any allergies. So they seem to be very mindful of food allergies and want to know about them. And no reservations are required at any of the restaurants here, which I absolutely loved, except for the teppanyaki table. So if you want hibachi, then you can get a reservation. And you'll need to try to do that as soon as you arrive, because those do fill up. We just wanted to eat at the restaurant, the Pan Asian restaurant, and get sushi. So we did not experience the teppanyaki table. And there is 24-hour room service, which we were able to experience multiple times. And the servers bringing the food at the room for room service were just incredible. They even wanted to pour our coffee for us, just so sweet. And the room service never took more than 30, 40 minutes. And so they say it could take up to 50 minutes, but we never even experienced that long. So it was good. We always got our breakfast for room service, and we got lunch one day too. So the food here has definitely been good. I've been impressed. The ideal client for this resort would be one who desires a little bit of luxury in their vacation, maybe isn't looking for the cheapest way to get to Mexico, but wants a little more luxury in their accommodations, in their service. You really do see that this resort is a step up from a lot of other resorts. And so I would say that if you are trying to stick to a tighter budget, you might want to look elsewhere. But if you do have a little wiggle room in your budget and want to splurge for something beautiful like Secrets Playa Blanca, it's definitely worth it. I do feel like the prices are increasing for 2026. I believe that the popularity of this resort is really catching on. Again, it's only a year old. And so I'll have to check and see how that pans out as to whether I think it's worth it for my clients or not, because there are amazing resorts in the Mexican Caribbean. And one of the great things about coming to Mexico is that supply and demand is on your side. You have so many resorts to choose from, and so they step up their game to try to get you to come to their resorts. So you don't have to settle, but you also don't have to pay exorbitant amounts unless it really is a top tier resort. We now have our pool concierge cleaning the pool behind us. So I will finish up with some final thoughts and suggestions and tips. For me, one of the big things is to reserve hat making, reserve your free spa hydrotherapy session right when you get here. Those are two things that I was interested in, and it just so happened that we were here for a shorter stay, and the only hydrotherapy session I could get was during the hat session. And so I was not able to experience the hat making, which isn't a big deal. It was just kind of an afterthought for me, but it is a very fun activity that a lot of people love. And so I would schedule all of those things right when you get here with your butler or through the app. And things that need to be signed up for. Teppanyaki table, if you prefer that, I would go ahead and do that right when you get here. And any excursions. If you do have a butler, they can sign you up for your excursions. You just tell them what you want. They can suggest things for you, or you can go to the lobby and the Amstar rep can talk to you about that as well. Another tip that I would like to explain to you, which is very important, when you check in, you are going to have your check-in lady or man that will be checking you in, and then they're going to send you to person number 2. And person number 2 is going to have a tag on them that says VIP services. This is your timeshare, people. it is very confusing as to why their tag set, their badge says VIP services, because they're going to explain to you that you have all of this credit and all these hundreds of dollars and things like that. But what it is they're going to try to sell you a timeshare. And I always suggest to my clients that unless you want to take up half of your day, don't do it. It's not worth. They're going to offer to take you to breakfast, and they promise it'll take 45 minutes. It always ends up taking a couple of hours. And just please be aware that there are very many people who deeply regret sitting through that and wasting a lot of their vacation. And so just know that person number 2 when you check in is a timeshare person, and you can just politely tell them that you're not interested and they will leave you alone. They are not pushy at all, but I just don't want anybody to be confused as to what VIP services is. One extra important tip that I forgot to share is that Coco's Cafe is here on property. And how did I forget to talk about this? It is one of my favorites. It is a 24/7 coffee ice cream shop. Hello, what? So you can go in at any time of the day and get iced coffees, hot coffees, teas, wonderful ice cream. And then like in the morning they had breakfast sandwiches, in the evening they had other kind of sandwiches and foods, and it's just great. So definitely check out Coco's Cafe. We would go there and stop by there for for after dinner and eat dessert there, and so we loved that. And another tip is that if you do have butler, please let them do all the things for you. Ask them what special things that they would like to suggest for you, because they really are there to please you. A lot of people come here and have never used a butler before, and so they kind of forget that they're here, and they're like, oh, well, I never really used my butler. But if you allow them to, they can really make a difference in your stay. And I'm going to be posting a YouTube video where they explain some of their services and things that they can do here shortly. And so be sure to look out for that. So please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos. I will be actually coming back to Cancun in about 5 days, and I will be exploring 4 new resorts with as a travel agent. So I will be making content and videoing them for my clients, so look for that on here as well. And then in August I will be going to Antigua to explore 11 resorts, and then coming back here to Cancun in September for another handful of resorts and a conference. So I've got a lot of traveling to do and a lot of content to post in the near future, so please like and subscribe, and thank you for sticking around.